All right, so Donald Trump's day just went from bad to worse. He was already having a terrible time after the FBI and the Department of Justice concluded that Epstein did not have a quote unquote client list, and that, of course, he took his own life, completely destroying the conspiracy theories that many on the far right have been pushing, causing the MAGA base to lash out at Donald Trump. But then on top of this, Caroline Leavitt decided to have a press briefing today, and many in the room were asking her about the administration previously claiming that they had this Epstein list and they were going to release it. And now the FBI is saying that there is no list. And Caroline Leavitt really didn't have any answer for these questions. So I want to show you some of these clips from this press briefing. Before I do so, make sure to subscribe to the channel down below, drop a like on the video, comment, let me know what you think about this entire story. And let's get into it right now. So Peter Doocy at Fox News asked, so what happened to the Epstein list that the Attorney General said she had on her desk? And this is Caroline Leavitt's response. Take a look.
That's transparency.
Follow up on that,
Sure.
Caroline. Okay, so the FBI looks at the circumstances surrounding the death of Jeffrey Epstein. According to the report, this systematic review revealed no incriminating client list. So what happened to the Epstein client list that the Attorney General said she had on her desk?
Well, I think if you go back and look at what the Attorney General said in that interview, which was on your network on Fox News.
Got the quote.
Go ahead.
John Roberts said, DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen? And she said, it's sitting on my desk right now to review.
Yes, she was
What?
saying the entirety of all of the paperwork, all of the paper in relation to Jeffrey Epstein's crimes. That's what the Attorney General was referring to, and I'll let her speak for that. But again, when it comes to the FBI and the Department.
Wow. So this is the best that Caroline Leavitt and the Trump administration could come up with. That when the Attorney General was asked directly about the Epstein client list, she said it was sitting on her desk, but she wasn't actually talking about the list. She was just talking about all of the documents of which they are not releasing. And let's just be clear. It's obvious that the Attorney General was not just talking about the client list when she said that, hey, it's on my desk waiting for review. I mean, just take a look at this clip and let me know in the comments if you think there's any ambiguity here, if there's any nuance that we're missing.
The DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients? Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by President Trump. I'm reviewing that.
She just said, I'm reviewing that. It's on my desk for review, and it could be released in the meantime. That's the Attorney General. Yet today, Caroline Leavitt is saying, well, you know, I actually don't think that's what she said. We saw it with our own eyes. They're gaslighting us. They're telling us that what we saw with our own eyes, heard with our own ears, is not true. And actually, the Attorney General said something else. When you put what Caroline Leavitt said today side by side with what Pam Bondi said, it's a pretty damning indictment of the Trump administration and further proves how they just lie and lie and lie. And it actually got worse for Caroline Leavitt. There were more questions asked about this Epstein client list. And this one reporter said the DOJ and the FBI have now concluded there was no list. What do you tell MAGA supporters who said they want anyone involved to be held accountable? And this is what Leavitt said to that question.
Caroline, the DOJ and FBI have now concluded there was no Jeffrey Epstein client list. What do you tell MAGA supporters who say they want anyone involved in Jeffrey Epstein's alleged crimes to be held accountable?
This administration wants anyone who has ever committed a crime to be held accountable. And I would argue this administration has done more to lock up bad guys than certainly the previous administration. And the Trump administration is committed to truth and to transparency. That's why the Attorney General and the FBI Director pledged at the President's direction to do an exhaustive review of all of the files related to Jeffrey Epstein's crimes and his death. And they put out a memo in conclusion of that review. There was material they did not release because, frankly, it was incredibly graphic. And
so, okay. I mean, there's so much wrong with this of like, oh, you know, she's still trying to play like this transparency card that the Trump administration is being transparent. I do want to quickly once again say that Attorney General Pam Bondi said that the list was on her desk and now there is no list. That doesn't seem very transparent to me. But nonetheless, I love her claim here that this administration has done more to arrest bad guys than any other administration. Donald Trump pardoned 1,600 January 6th insurrectionists. Donald Trump pardoned many of his own supporters, a reality TV couple who defrauded a bunch of Atlanta banks, a former healthcare executive which defrauded a bunch of nursing homes. All of these people and their families either gave money to Donald Trump or were vocal in favor of Donald Trump. That doesn't sound like locking up bad guys. That sounds like letting bad guys walk. So with Caroline Leavitt claiming that, oh, this administration wants these bad guys connected to Epstein held accountable, no, they don't. No, they don't. The Trump administration absolutely does not want that. And Donald Trump certainly doesn't want that because he's releasing criminals left, right, and center. It's insane. So that was the Epstein portion of the press secretary's briefing, but then it got worse. They moved away from that topic and started to talk about tariffs and trade deals, and Caroline Leavitt was asked what happened to 90 deals in 90 days. She claimed that the Trump administration said we're going to have so many trade deals, 90 deals in 90 days, and this was her response.
On tariffs, you're now delaying the deadline from July 9th to August 1st. Is that an acknowledgement that perhaps the administration found it more difficult to negotiate these trade deals, or whatever happened to 90 deals in 90 days?
No, it's an acknowledgement that this administration is doing what's best for the American worker, and we want the best deals possible for our workers, for our manufacturing base, for our middle class, and they are doing this deliberately and appropriately on behalf of our country's interests. Josh.
The spin is so insane from Caroline Leavitt. She always does this. You know, she's asked a very valid question of what happened to 90 deals in 90 days, because that was their claim. They said 90 trade deals, 90 days, 90 countries, or whatever the amount of countries it was. And now there is no deals. There's zero deals. We've had zero major trade deals. Zero. None. Nada. And her claim is, oh, well, you know, the administration is just doing what's best for the American worker. You know what's best for the American worker? Not lying. So don't say that you're going to do 90 deals in 90 days if there's not going to be any deals. There's zero. Don't lie. Don't get your base excited. Don't get the American people, well, maybe there's something there. No, there's nothing there. There never was. And there's not going to be any major trade deals. They're probably going to go back to something similar to what was already existing. And then Donald Trump will claim victory, and that'll be that. And the last clip I want to show you is Leavitt asked about tariffs. Donald Trump recently, earlier today, sent out a bunch of letters to countries, including South Korea and more, about tariffs that are going to be imposed. And a reporter rightly asked, given the fact that Trump put into effect the tariffs on April 2nd and then put the pause into place, is the president concerned that these countries receiving these letters won't take them seriously because the deadline has shifted and may shift again? And just take a look at what Leavitt said. This is a very fair question, by the way.
This is on the trade letters. Given the fact that the president put into effect the tariffs on April 2nd and then put the pause into place, is the president at all concerned that these countries that are receiving the letters won't take them seriously because the deadline seems to have shifted already and may shift again?
They will take the letters seriously because they have taken the president seriously. And that's why the president's phone, I can tell you, rings off the hook from world leaders all the time who are begging him to come to a deal. And this administration is working hard to ensure those deals are in the best interest of the American people.
Really, the phone is ringing off the hook so much that you have zero deals in 90 days? This whole trade promise fell through. Really, the phone's ringing off the hook, and that they will take the letters seriously. No country is taking Donald Trump seriously right now. No country respects Donald Trump because he keeps going back on his promise. It's the whole taco thing. He always chickens out. We've seen that time and time again with the tariffs. He announces this huge Liberation Day package, and then it gets paused, and then paused again, and then paused again, and now we're here where Donald Trump is announcing more tariffs that I can almost guarantee you will inevitably be paused again, because that's just the Trump way. So, yeah, Caroline Leavitt, the Trump administration, not having a good time right now. You can see that some of these questions, even from conservative reporters like Peter Doocy at Fox News, are really itching at the heart of the issues of the Trump administration, and she's just not that great as a press secretary, so she doesn't really have a good response. It's just the kind of normal spin we see from her. So anyway, I will leave the video there. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you being here. Make sure to subscribe to the channel down below. It goes an incredibly long way. Drop a like on the video, comment. Let me know what you think about this story. And as I always say, I greatly appreciate you, and I hope you have an amazing rest of your day.